Good morning, Daily Dosers. My name is Brandon Vasquez, and I'm the campus pastor over at our Palma Valley campus. Thanks for joining us again today. My wife and I have 4 kids, ages 3, 5, and 7. And one of my favorite things to do in the world is to hear them laugh. And actually, one of the greatest joys as a father is to be the reason why they laugh. And so one of the things I do with my kids is I just dance around. We'll have music on all the time in our house, and I'm dancing around, acting like a fool. And one of the things I do is I do this, right? You guys have seen that, right? But then what really gets them is that. And you're like sitting there like, how did he just do that? Is that possible? Watch it again. There it goes. And my kids just lose it, especially my daughter. She has the best laugh in the world. And they said, Dad, did you really just do that? Dad, prove it to us that you just did that. Prove it. Prove it, Dad. In Luke 24, Jesus' disciples had gathered just a few days after he was crucified on the cross. And in chapter 24, verse 36, this is what is said. While they were still talking about this, Jesus himself stood among them and said to them, "Peace be with you." They were startled and frightened, thinking they saw a ghost. He said to them, "Why are you troubled? And why do doubts rise in your mind? Look at my hands and my feet. It is I myself. Touch me and see. A ghost does not have flesh and bones as you see I have." When he said this, he showed them his hands and feet. And while they still did not believe it because of joy and amazement, he asked them, "Do you have anything there to eat?" They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he took it and he ate it in their presence. So as they were sitting there, Jesus is like, while y'all are figuring out if you're hallucinating or not, would someone get some food for me? I've been gone for 3 days. I haven't eaten anything. I'm hungry. Jesus rose from the dead. He left the tomb empty and was standing in front of his disciples, literally like this. And they still didn't believe. And he knew that they didn't believe. Remember when my kids watch me do the arm thing, they say, "Daddy, did you really do it? Daddy, prove it to us. Daddy, prove it." And I wonder if you and I live our lives with a prove it, Dad faith. When a big decision comes up, maybe we sit outside on our front porch or lawn and say, "Okay, God, I'm going to choose option A if you put a bluebird on that fence. And I'm going to give you 22 minutes to do it. And I'm going to pick option B if the bluebird doesn't show up." And that's how you're going to prove it to me, God. That's how you're going to prove how powerful and all-knowing you are. And if we really think about that, how silly is that? We're asking the Almighty God to perform some cheap parlor tricks to get us to trust in him. Prove it, Dad. He already proved everything he needed to prove to you when he sent his son Jesus to die on the cross. He proved his love to us. And when that same son rose again 3 days later, he proved his power to us. Where are the areas in your life that you have a prove it God mentality? And how can the death and resurrection of Jesus change your perspective in those areas today? Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.